In today's video, we're going to be going over the brand new John Varvatos Artisan Costiero. So this one just came out here pretty recently, is currently available at Macy's and maybe a couple of the other retailers. Of course, for full retail price only, I think I paid like $145 for this. This is the 4.2 ounce, 125 ml bottle. It is an eau de parfum, which I was kind of surprised to see, and that makes me feel a little bit better about it, but that is expensive. Currently not on discounters yet. So that's kind of the info there. We're going to be going over this one, going to tell you how it smells, how it performs, what I think of it overall, and we're going to get into it. I've been wearing it over the weekend, so I've got a pretty good understanding of how this one plays out. So let's go and start off with how this one smells. Now, when you first spray this one on, pretty much immediately off the opening, you get hit with a nice mandarin orange note. And that makes sense, especially for those of us who have been following the Artisan fragrance series year after year, you know, ever since it first came out. They're known for orange, right? All of them, at least they should all have orange in them because that's what the original is based on. And so you do pick up on some of that in here. A nice orange accord with the slightest bit of like a green feel alongside of it. So it's like a mandarin orange with a little bit of a leafy green smell there. You're getting a little bit of like a slight citric smell alongside of it. So primarily orange with a little bit of a sour punch. The main thing that you're going to notice about this one beyond that opening is it does very much have a marine forward kind of salty aquatic smell to it. Very much doubling down on kind of this rich oceanic full-bodied smell rather than just being like orange, maybe some citrus and some woods and some other stuff like that, like maybe some of the other Artisan fragrances have done over the years. This one really leans into more of an oceanic direction. And I would probably argue that this is the most marine smelling John Varvatos scent we've had yet. I know they've had things like Artisan Aqua, which has a watery feel, but not so much like a saltiness. Same thing with Artisan Blue. I believe that had like a little bit of a watery nuance as well, but also was very much a green leaning scent. But I wouldn't really consider any of them to be overly marine and oceanic smelling. This is going to be the first one that really goes down that rabbit hole or goes in that direction, which is kind of surprising that it took so long to get there, but that's kind of the direction that this one goes, which I love. I really, really enjoy how this one smells because it does have more of a unique type of smell to it for a summer scent. That's the thing, you know, when you're talking about summer scents and just kind of trying to push them into a direction to where they smell unique and they smell different, it almost seems like that's a little bit hard to do these days because so many fragrances in this category, in this style, and maybe it can be a bit hard to stand out. But I found that this one really does, and it does have a little bit of like a woody and slightly spicy smell to it as well, which also separates it a little bit considering, you know, most marine-based scents don't go in like a woody and warm spicy direction. This one has just a little bit of that. So we'll go ahead and take a look at the full note breakdown here. Up top, we have mandarin, lemon, and yuzu. In the mid, we have aquatic notes, karma floor, and nectarine. And in the base, we have akagaya wood, moss, and patchouli. So really a pretty interesting note breakdown. We see a couple different notes. We've got the karma floor, which is some sort of floral I could only imagine based upon the name. Not 100% sure really how to describe that one because I'm not too familiar. But nectarine is the other one that really catches my eye in terms of underutilized notes. You just don't see that all that often. But you do pick up on a very unique type of slightly sweet fruitiness that isn't, of course, orange or anything like that, things that we've smelled a million times. There is something in here that does stand out and smell a little bit different, almost like the slightest bit of a peach smell is almost how I would describe it. And I don't know if that's the best way to describe what nectarine would smell like, but at least for me, when I'm smelling this, I'm getting something that more or less reminds me of a similar type of peach type of smell a little bit, not fully, but there's something in here that does make it stand out a little bit more. And you already noticed the base notes there. We got the akagaya wood, the patchouli, the oak moss. And so that very much aligns with what I'm smelling when I wear this one. It does have more of a woody presence, a little bit of a spiciness like I mentioned already, and also a little bit of a green smell out of this one too that I'm getting, which would likely be attributed to either the oak moss or the patchouli or a combination of both. And so that very much makes sense, and those aren't filler notes to me. You know, you actually do pick up on those, and it does kind of prop up the scent overall. You know, I think that they're kind of giving this a little bit more richness and depth compared to what we normally get from marine aquatic based scents. So I can tell you, at least in my opinion, and this is something that I thought when I first tried this one, is that this is more so like OG John Varvatos Artisan here. Like, this is kind of what you would expect them to have released 10 years ago, right? Back when they were really putting out some super unique and amazing fragrances. And it's not that all of their stuff now is bad. It's just that a lot of them, the newer stuff, it doesn't hold up as well to what we're kind of used to smelling in some of their older, more legacy releases that really stood out and had amazing quality and blend. This, to me, again, it slots in with some of them older scents. You know, not in terms of like smelling like them, but in terms of delivery, blend, richness, quality, and just how it comes across. This is really what I expect from the brand right here, and that's why I was so excited to do this review, because after trying it, this is one that really kind of, you know, it excited me, because this is what I love from the brand. And I had a little bit of a feeling that maybe it would be like that going into it. Just looking at the notes, looking at the bottle, I had a good feeling about this one. It looked like it was maybe going to be a little bit of a departure from a lot of their other newer releases that are a little bit more cookie cutter, a little bit less intriguing, and luckily that turned out to be the case. So really, really happy about this one overall. I've been showing the bottle as much as I can because I think it's really cool looking. You're not getting the wicker, you know, deal going on like most of the artisan fragrances, so that's a little bit different. But I really like this. I love that blue, rich gradient. The color, everything about this, it kind of has like a wavy look in the glass. Very much fits the character of the scent here. Strong, powerful, oceanic smelling. This one is really, really nice. I love it. Like I mentioned, been wearing it a lot over the weekend and even a couple days before the weekend when I got it in. And this one I really love. So let's go ahead and talk about the performance. I know that's going to be definitely something that you're going to be curious about. And it was something that I was wondering about going into it as well, because again, we're noticing eau de parfum concentration here to start out with, which is nice. I think most of the Artisan series typically is an eau de toilette concentration. So a little bit of an upgrade there, which was cool to see. And longevity on my skin has been decent. Still not a beast mode scent. Wasn't expecting that out of this. I think if you go into it with the right mindset, you can't be disappointed. I would never expect beast mode and John Varvatos to be in the same sentence, and it still isn't. This is not a beast mode scent. This is not going to hold up to maybe a lot of what everybody's used to these days with newer scents lasting for 12 hours. Not going to be this. However, I can say that on my skin, it's been an average of about 7 hours of usable longevity, which to me is great for a John Varvatos. Of course, we all maybe hope for a little bit more, but honestly, I really wasn't complaining too much about that. I was kind of consistently what I was getting. A projection is on the softer side. Again, we're stepping up in concentration, going up to an EDP, and sometimes you will lose a bit of distance when you do that. What I did find is that it did leave a really heavy trail. So whether I was wearing it on my skin and walking around, it would hang in the air. So really good longevity for a John Varvatos. You know, scent trail is really nice as well. I really like how this one comes together. The quality is great too. Love the presentation. Again, for somebody who is loved John Varvatos for years and has also been disappointed in a lot of newer John Varvatos releases for years now at this point. This is a really, really warmly welcome scent, and I'm really happy with this one. Because at this point, when it comes to me wearing a John Varvatos, it's going to be Artisan Aqua, Artisan Blue, Artisan Pure, right? And blue is easy to get, pure is easy to get, but Artisan Aqua has been discontinued. And there's some other things too from the brand in general that I go for. Very rarely am I kind of gravitating towards newer releases from the brand, but this is one that will definitely fit into my rotation. This is really cool to see. Ultimately, I think if you want kind of a unique smelling marine scent. You like that saltiness, you like that kind of unique fruity nectarine, like peach, orange blend, and you like a little bit of a woody spiciness in that as well, then I think this is something that you're going to enjoy. Really, really cool, unique smell overall. It's great that this doesn't smell like anything else. It really doesn't even remind me of anything else either. Again, you know, going back to it, smelling it, it just, I don't know, it doesn't really trigger that thought where it's like, that reminds me of something, but I can't quite think of it. No, it's kind of a pretty standalone smelling scent. Doesn't really relate to anything in the Artisan line except for a little bit of orange tying back to the original. It's a pretty big departure otherwise, and it really doesn't remind me of anything else from any other brand either. So if you guys have tried the new Artisan Costiero, let me know what you think. I really like it, and you know, I probably wouldn't tell everybody to go out and pay a full retail price for it right now. I would wait, hopefully that it pops up on discounters here just in time for summer. Maybe we'll get lucky and that'll happen, or maybe we'll have to wait. Either way, I love it. A lot better than I thought it was going to be. I was hopeful, but it definitely turned out to be very, very solid. Thank you guys so much for watching. Stay safe, stay healthy, and we'll see you tomorrow with another one. Take care.